Let's do this. Man, I have a big head. Anyways, my name is Caden Lumen. I am a reporting intern for the Iowa Capital Dispatch online newspaper in Des Moines, a nonprofit organization that covers state politics, healthcare, environmental issues, legal issues, etc. Welcome to my life. Today I'm going to be covering Pete Buttigieg, who's going to be visiting Des Moines today. Pete Buttigieg, he's the former Secretary of Transportation for the Biden administration, and he also won the 2020 Iowa Democratic Caucus. So it'll be an event. I don't know what kind of news will come out of it, but on Friday I covered a Republican event, so I'm unbiased. I covered both, and basically Zach Lane, the candidate for governor, announced that he was endorsed by Trump. So hopefully we get some news here. Hopefully some of the big candidates like Rob Sand and Josh Turek will be here, but I really don't know for sure. But anyways, I'm just going to sort of document what my life is like, what preparation goes into preparing for an assignment like this, and then sort of some personal things, and then sort of what I do afterwards. Okay, sorry for that terrible intro, but basically what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show off some aspects of my personal life as well. So I'm going to be cooking chicken Alfredo for dinner tonight. I need to go to the store and get some breadsticks, so I'm all carved up so I can go on my jog afterwards. I like to either go on a long walk or a jog after a hard day's work. Just, again, like I said, to not go completely crazy. So I'll see you at the store. We are at the luxurious Ames Walmart. Well, one of them anyway. Favorite place in the world. Can't wait to get out of there. Okay, I think I'm just gonna show off my grocery store haul, because that's something that influencers do, right? Got my breadsticks. Actually got 2 of these. I'm gonna be really carved up tonight. So we got that. Got some bananas that I can't pull out of the bag right now. Oh my god, I'm dropping everything. This is a disaster. I got some Lunchables because I eat like a 5-year-old, and then got a couple of Ghosts to fuel my caffeine addiction, and then I got some Mango Loco Monsters. It's far from my favorite flavor, but I really like the packaging, so. Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. All right, so I'm going to be leaving in about under an hour. I just kind of want to show you what goes into preparation and what I'm going to pack. So this is the camera. This isn't my camera. This is the Iowa Capital Dispatch office camera. Really nice. And I actually have one coming in the mail in a few days. So that's going to be really exciting. Phone charger. This is probably the most important thing since I record just about all the audio I would need for like interviews or when people are giving speeches and stuff. So it's really important to have that. Headphones, I usually don't need those, but just in case I need to listen back to something on the recording, if the transcript doesn't get it right, I'll put in my headphones and I'll do that. We got an SD card reader for the camera, an extra SD card, and then an extra battery, just in case the battery dies or it breaks or something happens. I have a backup there. And then also a notepad that as you can see, I never use. But I feel like a journalist should always have a notepad. So that's why I'm going to bring that. If you're someone who reads the news, you're probably thinking, how do journalists get these stories out so fast? Well, let me show you. We do a little bit of a pre-write. So this is just factual information that know for sure is going to be a part of the story. Also, we're definitely going to quote Pete Buttigieg during this event, so I have different spaces for that. Rita Hart for sure is going to be there, so I'll speak to that. And then there's a lot of optimism from what I've heard going on in the Democratic Party here in Iowa, so I think there's going to be some of that sentiment heading into the election, and that would kind of be a good way to end. Also, I mentioned Turek and Sand earlier. I don't know if they're going to be there, but If not, what are other Democrats saying about these races? And then Chris Jones, the Secretary of Ag candidate, we have a lot of water quality issues in Iowa, so he's very outspoken about that. So if any of those things happen, those for sure will be included in the story, and then hopefully we have some breaking good news. Man, I still have a big head. Anyways, I'm here at the parking lot over at Prairie Meadows in Altoona. I'm about to go in for the Pete Buttigieg event. I'm never not nervous for this stuff. It doesn't matter how many times I've done this, and I've done a lot of political events, especially recently. It just never gets any easier. So, I don't know, a lot of strangers in there, a lot of chaos. So, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to see if I can film maybe him talking. I'm not going to film anybody I would interview or just people that are attending the event for ethical reasons, for their privacy. So, yeah, we'll see what we get, and I'll see you on the other side. It's currently 8:30 and I'm still working, but not for long. My editor's just going through the story right now. I am absolutely exhausted. I didn't get any footage from the event. I was so busy. There were so many people in there. But I think the story turned out well. I think it all turned out well. All the big Democratic names in Iowa were there. Rob Sand was there. Josh Turk was there. So I wouldn't say the event was completely newsworthy, but there were some things maybe that they said publicly that they haven't before. And then Pete Buttigieg, again, he won the Iowa caucus in 2020. That's, I guess him visiting would be the newsworthy thing. But yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was fine. It's a little long. But right now I have my noodles boiling, and yeah, I can't wait to eat and then just go to bed. I deserve this. Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm on the verge of going to bed, but we had a situation with my story. And since this is the day in the life of a news reporter, this is a big part of being a news reporter. So I figured I'm just going to share this. So in the headline, I put that Pete Buttigieg calls to abolish the Electoral College. Now, I made a couple mistakes here. One, the fact he never used the words Electoral College this evening, although that is what he meant by what he said. He said every vote needs to count the same, and then whatever candidate gets most votes wins. And to me, that read as abolishing the Electoral College. And I'm technically right. The problem was he's been campaigning on that issue for 7 years, and his comms person definitely let me know about that. So, I don't know, after thinking it through, I realized, oh yeah, I messed up. Because that shouldn't be in the headline. So I went in, I changed it, and yeah, the situation was resolved. But that's something you don't think about a lot, is that, I don't know, I guess I'm not that kind of journalist to where I'm fishing for dirt or fishing for the big, like, attention-grabbing headline that's misleading and stuff like that. It was a genuine mistake on my part. Even though the fact was true, since he's been campaigning on that for 7 years, that's not really newsworthy. Or at least it's not worthy of the headline. So definitely screwed up there. I just wasn't aware of it. I haven't been following politics since 2019, so I have no idea. But I don't know. I'm glad the situation got resolved. It seems like everything's going to be okay. I do feel kind of bad, a little guilty that happened, but at the same time, it's part of the job, and at least I was able to go in and correct my mistake and then learn from my mistakes that I can be more thorough, in the future. But anyways, moving on from that, I am so tired. I'm not going to go for my jog. I was thinking about going for a walk. It's 10:15 at night right now. Absolutely exhausted. I had a long day. Of course, I messed up the headline, so that kind of stressed me out a little bit too. So I'm just going to go straight to bed. Again, don't know if this will ever get posted, but basically the reason why I'm doing this is just I want to up my video content. I want to prove that I can do, some videography and put that in my portfolio as a multimedia journalist. So that's kind of the goal here with this vlog. I don't know. Right now I'm leaning towards posting this on YouTube and then maybe share some clips on Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if you're here right now, thank you for watching. I know my life's pretty boring, so I don't know. I don't really know what you got out of this, but I don't know. I hope you got something. All right, it's the next morning. I've got a lot of feedback on the story I wrote last night. A lot of it good, and a lot of it wondering, about some decisions I made, some candidate speeches that I cut. Truthfully, there was a lot of speeches, and since I wanted to focus on Pete Buttigieg, I kind of had to, omit some. But I do think they're valid questions, and I'm actually going to do another story about one of the candidates that I omitted in the district he's running in, which is the 4th. Which is actually my district that I live in, it's been Republican forever. I think since 1986 was the last time a Democrat won. So yeah, I'm gonna look at that, see if they have any realistic chance of winning, talk to some Republicans, talk to political scientists, Democrats, look sort of at demographic and population changes. So I think that could be a really good idea, and that's gonna be my next big enterprise long-term story. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this vlog. I kind of wanted to put that little snippet at the end that I do get a lot of feedback about my stories, and I sort of treat this job like a public service. And I feel the need that if somebody reaches out to me and what they're saying is reasonable, that I should respond very respectfully and, take into consideration their feedback, even if I disagree. So I don't know, that's kind of something I want to add, since this is a little behind the scenes of what being a news reporter is like. That's one of the things you deal with. You deal with people reaching out to you. Usually it's pretty respectful. Sometimes it's not. When it's not respectful, I just don't even bother with it, delete the email, whatever. But if it's very reasonable, I'd love to respond to people, and I love to hear feedback. So I don't know, that's something that's really rewarding about my job, and something I really appreciate. I absolutely love this job and couldn't think of doing anything else. All right, so apparently that wasn't my last clip, because I'm going to be covering another event with Pete Buttigieg today. He's going to be campaigning with Sarah Trone Garriott, who's running for the U.S. House of Representatives in District 3 in Iowa. So I'm going to be covering that. I'm just going to kind of show you some behind the scenes. It's really going to be the same as yesterday. I got like a 4-hour notice that I was going to end up doing this assignment. So we'll see how it goes. I'll try and actually get footage from in there this time, and yeah, we'll give you a behind the scenes look, and we'll just go from there. All right, I'm in downtown Des Moines, somewhere in some parking lot. I have no freaking clue where this building is that I have to be in. So yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I really don't know what's gonna happen here. But yeah, I'm in Des Moines for the 3rd time in 4 days doing political coverage, so wish me luck.
The richest country in the world ought to have the best funded schools in the world. That's what we stand for, and that's what their incumbent has stood against, unless we get out there and talk to them. Folks already have a problem with a tax policy that cuts taxes for the wealthiest people in this country and the biggest corporations in this country.
Here for Sarah, is that a step to expand your network ahead of a 2028 presidential race?
Well, I already have a lot of great friends in Iowa, and it's been fun to reactivate some of those relationships in the service of the ticket that's on the ballot right now in 26. I'm super focused on this year's election. The future will come, but right now we got a very important set of elections in front of us right now.
So are you ruling out a 2028 White House run?
Nope.
Oh, that was fun. That room was absolutely packed. I don't know, it's cool though. I got to be a part of the press conference, even though I didn't ask a question. The guy behind me took what I was going to ask Pete Buttigieg. So unfortunately, I didn't get to do that, but I got it on video. I think I'm going to play some of it on here. So yeah, I would say pretty successful assignment. Time to go home and write. All right, finished writing my story. So far, my editor hasn't told me about anything I've done wrong yet. I don't know, there's still a lot of time. She's still editing it, but I don't know. I was very happy with how today went. That room was so crowded in there, and it was really hot. It was like in a warehouse in the middle of Des Moines. I had no clue where that place was. I don't know where I parked, but I don't know. I somehow did it. So that's going to be the end of this vlog. This day in the life turned into 2 days, in the life. But it kind of fits because I did something I didn't anticipate today with only a few hours notice. So, but yeah, thought it turned out really good. I'm excited to do more video content and should have another vlog coming Friday and then this weekend. So take care. Thanks for watching.